Hey, what's up? How's everybody doing? Gonna make us a video here real quick. I know I said I was gonna do part 3 of the 3.3 clean and repair that was seized, but I kinda finished it for the most part. But I still need to finish putting it back together. Still need to clean the carb, rebuild it, put it on. So we're gonna do that in this one, and this will be part 3. Yeah, sorry you won't see the rest of the elbow grease cleaning of the actual motor, but if you actually need to see that or need help with that, comment, let me know. Send me an email, jado.junkies@gmail. We're on Facebook as well, Jado Junkies. So reach out to us on Facebook, follow us, share, like, if you want to. So yeah, let's get into it then. I got most of this stuff here prepped. I've been letting the body soak for probably too many days, but I guess it won't hurt. It's just been soaking in alcohol. Like I said, I clean most everything to do with these cars, especially the motor buildup and corrosion, all that stuff. Modified toothbrushes. Everybody knows what that is. Pipe cleaners. Different style brush. Q-tips. Normal Q-tips. I have some long Q-tips that I use as well sometimes. And wood sticks. Toothpicks. I got a couple things I use to poke overall. Because some of those holes are really small. A little micro drill bit. I use that sometimes. Straight pins. Needle more or less. And then torch tip cleaner for oxygen acetylene torch, or carb cleaner, whatever you want to call it. They use them. They sell them for both names. Same thing. Yeah. So let's see if we can get this thing cleaned up and functioning again. It's still pretty funky there. It's got a little bit of rust on the metal portion of this carburetor where it goes into the motor. We'll take that over to the buffing wheel after we put some WD on it, and we'll try and get that to come off. If not, we'll end up putting a new carburetor body on this, because I don't generally like to put things that are rusty and won't come clean back in the motors. It's not a very good idea. It's just asking for failure, you know. But all in all, it should come clean. We should be able to get it off. Everybody knows that WD is awesome at tearing up and getting after that pesky rust, as well as putting in your motor for aftercare. Remember, always do your aftercare so you don't end up in a situation like this. No, I didn't do this. I bought this car off of eBay, untested. And that's how it was. So, it's alright though. Not afraid to yank them apart and clean them up. Generally doesn't stop you from fixing your motor. Sad part is the way this motor looked on the inside. It looked pretty much new. I mean, the coloration on the piston, the con rod, the sleeve, and everything as a whole, aside from the nasty corrosion and crud that was stuck in there and built up in there, it looked brand new, which is sad. Remember guys, aftercare. Always remember to do your aftercare. It only takes a little bit of time. Saves you a whole lot of money, a whole lot of headache in the long run. Some devastation. You know, if you don't do that aftercare, and you're out there playing, having a good time, and all of a sudden your car goes kaput. And it's more than just the kaput, it's the infamous katink. You blow up your motor, well, it's not exactly cheap. Either way you look at it. You rebuild the motor, you know, it's what, $30 for a con rod. If you gotta replace the con rod, $70 for piston and sleeve. I mean, you're 100 plus just to do a rebuild. And that's if you didn't blow a hole in the bottom of your crank or crack something in your crankcase or ruin your crank. Like I said, guys, when you're cleaning up these car bodies, it can be deceiving, you know, because you think, oh yeah, it looks good overall, but then you got your fuel orifices and whatnot that you can't see in. So if you don't go a little overboard, or I don't think it's overboard, I think it's the exact amount on the cleaning overall, you may be tearing it apart again and or replacing it because you're frustrated because you can't get it tuned. So that's why I have such a variety of things that I use to clean them. I don't like that. Maybe replacing this carb body anyways. It's got a little spot here that got smashed or something. Gonna work that edge where it is disformed. or deformed. Sorry, brain fart. By the way, happy holidays, guys. And for real, thanks for all the support thus far. Hopefully we can keep it going, keep it growing, keep it shared. And again, you know, share, like, subscribe, tell a friend. If you guys need anything specific as far as the JADO or the 3.3 or a vehicle that has the 3.3 goes, comment, let me know. You know what kind of content you're needing or wanting to see. I'm gonna try and get some driving videos going as well. If you didn't see the $100 dipped Benjamin car, there's a couple videos and shorts on the JADO Junkie page. Check them out. That was a build I did for my really, really good friend. It was my thank you to him to show appreciation. And I think I have another video of it. It's just a real short one. If I didn't post it already, I will. Kind of show it a little better. I'm also going to try and make a video out of the photos I took, and then I'll post that. But it turned out really nice. And remember, guys, if you're having tuning issues and you're constantly retuning, there's something wrong. You should really dig into that. You should really, really dig into that. I understand that people think or feel you've got to retune for temperature change, all that stuff. I mean, you shouldn't, and there might be a little bit of a difference, but just like these motors and every other motors, once they're hot and breathing fire, they're gonna be the same. All my cars were tuned for summer, and it's, you know, winter months over here, and I can throw gas and then take them outside, and they rip just like as if it was summer still. 100-degree weather compared to 50 and below. And I don't retune. I don't retune my cars as a whole for any reason. They hold a tune. And I know that they're not holding a tune, but they were, then I need to look into whatever is causing it. So, and just because your O-rings look good, you know, no cracks, no breaks, whatever, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not good. They might have a flat spot that's letting air by. So always pay attention to your O-rings. Your motor back plates for the starters, you can seal those, which is a great idea to seal those. I use a liquid gray gasket by 3 Bond, number 1184. Works wonders. It's fantastic. I'll usually always seal my back plates with that, as well as my carburetors, just to ensure. And just a FYI, if you don't know, your carburetors are supposed to have dual O-rings as far as going into the motor. There should be one in the actual crankcase opening, and there should be one on the bottom of the carburetor body going into it. If you don't have both of those, but you're having tuning problems, you might want to look into putting both those on there. Some of the earlier models only took one, but I'm pretty sure most everything you're going to have and get these days is going to be the 2 O-ring. You can buy every part of your carburetor to rebuild them and replace them, all the gaskets, all the seals. And like I said, canned air is another great thing to have when it comes to the little nitro motors and whatnot. Oh, and got great news for me, maybe not necessarily for you. Finally picked up one of the infamous Dynamite Mach 2.19s. We're going to put that on a JATO most likely and test it out and see what it's all about. We'll do a 3-3 comparison. I've got I got a really nicely tuned 3-3 that's, you know, all stock but tuned extremely well. I have a lightly modified 3-3 that even running super rich is extremely fast and snappy. So we'll do the dual comparison overall. Soon we're going to do an entire modified 3-3 build using the OS 11K, the RCR crankshaft. We're going to port and polish the sleeve here in-house. So I'll post a bunch of that so everybody can see it as well. And see how that goes. Also got a OS 21 big block that I'm looking to put on, oh, maybe a JATO. I might put it on a T-Max or a Revo, we'll see. We'll see. I'm sorry it's been so long since I made a video and I kind of skipped out on the last part of the 3-3 cleaning and restoration. But I'm sure we'll have another one. And when and if that happens, I'll make sure I get the whole thing posted. Take your pipe cleaner. This is the slide. Take your pipe cleaner. Take some of that fancy dancy alcohol. Stick it in there. And like I said, if you look down in that thing before you do this, it'll look really good overall. When you run that in there, you can see it's already discolored yellow. So take a Q-tip, tear some of that cotton off there to make it a little smaller. That thing cleaned out really well. Yeah. Remember, if this rubber boot is cracked or broken, even just a tiny bit, you know, replace it. You'll see why when and if you ever come across it, why I tell you to replace it. So, you know, you might not think that it matters that much, but when you're talking extra holes where they're not usually at in one of these parts, and then you're having performance and tuning issues, I mean, sucking in more air, taking in more air in places that it wasn't meant to be coming in. And then, yeah, like I said, just kind of be tedious about it. Just clean everything up. I mean, if you think it's clean, do it just a little bit more. Just to be sure. The more you can ensure that you're for sure clean, the better off you'll be when you actually are. It's not going to hurt if you are already clean and you decide you want to do just a little bit better, a little bit more, try a little bit harder. You're not going to hurt it. Remember not to use anything super sharp. And if you do, you need to, just be real careful. You don't want to put unneeded damage on any of the parts or break it. The housing, remember, is majority plastic. They can be sensitive. Oops. Flamed it on the floor. This is a new O-ring for the plug. I was just looking at this one, trying to determine if I feel it's still good or not. And I mean, honestly, it don't look too bad overall, but it is kind of flat. So, like I said, if you're unsure about it and you can't be 100% on it, replace it. Now, I could be 100% on that for sure, that it would be alright, but honestly, I don't want to take any chances. And being that I can literally see that it's got some flatness to it, I'm going to change it. And not just for that reason. I mean, I'm over here doing a rebuild, a cleaning and rebuild on this. So I'm gonna freshen it all up, change it. Okay. Remember, like I said, with your needles, low speed, high speed, idle, your O-rings, and the needles. If they don't have some snugness to it in your carb, then you should probably think about changing the O-rings, because that will lead you down the road of them moving when your car is running. Because the vibration of these motors, man, it's so intense that these little screws will move if they don't have like some secureness to them. And I tell you that from experience, because I've watched and seen it happen. And when you're rebuilding your carbs and whatnot, tearing them apart, cleaning them, putting them back together, don't be afraid to put a little bit of oil or grease your O-rings with like O-ring grease, so that they can seat smoothly and not like wrinkle or get bound up, pinch or tear. It'll help you get that first time seal. Keep your O-ring in good shape while you're tightening them down and stuff. That definitely needs to be changed. That sucker's so flat. I would not trust that one. Let's see, we need some other music here. Sorry about that. Say, guys, just get them as clean as possible. Everything. Remember, the factory settings that all these motors come with on the carburetor from the factory: high speed needle from closed, 4 360 turns all the way around, 360, closed, 4 turns out. Factory low speed, you'll have your little arm on there, but factory low speed is flush with your carburetor slide. And when your little arm is on there, you'll have the two layers overall. You want to be flush with the inner one, not the arm, the slide. And then your idle gap, like I said in my other video, more or less is your standard large paper clip. and that'll pretty much get you your factory idle gap, which is something like 0.7 to 1 millimeters, something like that. Can't remember 100% on that one, but it's something like that. Standard big paper clip will get you pretty much all the way there. Fuel inlet. Run your pipe cleaner through there. Wipe it off. Blow it out. And guys, if you're cleaning these or your motor or anything like that, and you see what appears to be like a white film or a white haze to the parts, clean that off. You want to get that out of there, you want to get that off. Taking a little longer on this than I wanted to. A little longer video than I wanted to make it, but I want to make sure that it's all clean and I explain everything best I can. You know, a lot of people struggle with the TRX, the Traxxas 3.3 motor and carburetor and tuning and that kind of stuff. And I get it, but I don't, man. It doesn't have to be that hard. I don't feel like it is that hard. I struggled a little bit at first when I first started playing with these, you know, X amount of years ago. You know, I've been doing this stuff since the Jado came out, and I've been playing with Traxxas and Traxxas Nitro for 20 years. So I've got it figured out pretty well for myself overall, like I was saying. But there's people that hate these things and swear that they're no good. But I promise, guys, I've said it before, I'll keep saying it. If you can't tune your Traxxas 3.3 stock carb and motor and it stay consistent, it's all over the place, you're having issues like that, there's something wrong, dude. You're probably leaking air, or most of the time it's leaking air, dude. Like, you're leaking air from one place or another, in my experience. Rather it's the motor backplate, a small crack you don't know about, in the carburetor or the crankcase. So, and if it doesn't stay consistent overall, like I said, my cars, I've tuned them one time. All of them have been tuned in the summertime, and I can take them all outside right now or in the dead of winter, put gas in them, fire them up, and they run. So if you're not able to do that with yours, there's something wrong. I promise that there's something wrong. And if you dig into that and figure out what's actually wrong, open or leaking, that'll all stop Your tunes will be more consistent. Your cars will be faster. You'll have a lot better time overall with your hobby, your nitro hobby, and your Traxxas 3.3. I mean, I've got 11Ks that I've still not used because I haven't felt I needed to explore any other carb options. I am pro Traxxas 3.3 and I'm pro stock carburetor. I've tried those aftermarket ones you can buy on eBay, Amazon. They're trash. They're trash. You may get one that works decent for a little bit, holds a tune, but eventually it's gonna mess up too, and you'll be in the same boat. Retuning. I mean, like I said, I've done this for a lot of years. I tried those carbs more than once, and I have finally sworn them off after the last one that I tried. They don't compare to the stock 3.3 25R carb. I've got every one of those in a Jado. I've got an original 2.5. I've got a 2.5R, and I got every variation of the 3.3. Every one of my cars run consistent. I do not retune. I cannot stress this to you guys enough. I do not retune for any reason. And I know that if I'm having to change my tune, I need to start looking at what's going on, especially if I'm ripping for 2, 3, 4, 5 quarts or years on the same tune, and then all of a sudden it changes. I know, like, it's time to dig and see what's wrong. There's so much information out there as far as this stuff goes on YouTube and forums and whatnot that people get confused and overwhelmed and don't know what to believe. So, yeah. We're going to start putting this back together here. Try to wrap this up. Sorry guys, it's a very long video. When I get done with this, I'm going to try and shoot a video of this starter back plate. One-way bearing repair. I'm sure if you haven't run across the infamous one-way roller slipping, you will at one point. That doesn't mean they're bad. There is a way to fix that and or not buy a new one-way. So I'll try and shoot that, and I'm going to try and shoot a video, driving videos, a little something. I'll bust out my little freak Jado, and we'll get it, take some video of it, yippity yapping down the road. Like I said, guys, put a little bit of O-ring grease, a little bit of oil on your O-rings. Help them not get bound up and wrecked as you're screwing them in. Don't go too hard on it. You don't want that to cause you an issue, especially if you're using O-ring grease. And get you some new O-rings for your plugs. So when it dropped on the ground, I don't like that. Where is... Oh no. That's impossible. There she is. One of them. About that. I guess it's the same. That just tripped me out, man. Sorry, guys. This is a great way to set your low speed. Having it all the way apart. So you can get it real close to that factory flush on your slide. Whew. It'll be an hour by the time we get done with this. This head. You want it flush with your slide. That's what you want it flush with. And then you have your lever on there. And you want it flush with that inner ring. That's factory. So, it's your factory low speed needle setting. And yeah, if you get everything all done, you got new O-rings in there, on everything clean. Slap those suckers back together. Forget to line your slide up properly. Yeah, just throw it back together. I was thinking I need to end this video, and I'll be back. Be back with a new one later. I appreciate you guys. Drop me a like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you, everybody.